In the early 1850s, the California gold rush began, and Chinese workers immigrated to the United States in order to start rich. America welcomed these new immigrants with open arms.
The Chinese immigrants were charged with less money than the white workers. They did not fit in like the other immigrants did because of their cultural differences.
These conditions soon created conflict. The white settlers soon began to resent the Chinese, which resulted in the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1880.
Shut the door. Oh, great. It's a Chinese panhead.
Why do you work for so cheap?
The pay is still better than home. I work on 1 acre, year in, year out, from dawn to dusk, providing for a family. While I make 1 year China, you make 1 month America. No matter how much costs to get here or how hard to work, America better.
You know, I think the Chinese immigrants should just get out. They're just taking up so many jobs. Plus, there's also a rumor that there'll be so many of them that they'll be able to take over our government.
Oh, I know. My brother can't get a job and my son can't get a job because the Chinese work for so cheap. Are you eavesdropping on us? Get out of here, almond eyes.
You don't belong here. Go back to where you came from.
We will never fit in here like other immigrants do. Americans teach us about our Q. We need it because it is part of religion. I'm going back to China as soon as I have enough money for a family to survive. I want to bless them.
Oh, look, it is Dennis Kearney. He sees it's lots of Americans against the Chinese.
Ah, hello. Are you coming to the rally today? We shall raid the streets in Chinatown in San Francisco again. Here, take a sign. The rally is about to begin. We are for the Working Man's Party of California. What do we think of the Chinese? These slums of Asia are rigged to find the meanest slave on earth and import them here. Yeah, these cheap slaves fill every place. They are imported by companies, work like slaves, and alas, go back to China with all their earnings. An American father of a family is met by them at every turn. Would he find work for himself? No. A stout Chinaman does it cheaper. He can only go crime or suicide. We propose to live like men in this free land, without the contamination of slave labor, or die like men if need be, in asserting our rights. California must be all American or all Chinese. Well, we choose American, and are prepared to make it so.
Samuel Clemens is my name, but you might know me by Mark Twain, and I lived in San Francisco for a time. Not all Americans feel that the Chinese are a problem. The Chinese are quiet, peaceable, free from drunkenness, and they are as industrious as the day is long. So long as a Chinaman has strength from his hands, he needs no support from anybody. White men often complain of want of work, but a Chinaman offers no such complaint. He always manages to find something to do and is a great convenience for everybody.
The debate on Chinese immigration went from the streets of America into the proud halls of Congress. Americans perceived that the Chinese were taking all the jobs, were harder for less than the white workers. Scared, some Americans wanted to make a law that would prohibit the Chinese from immigrating to the U.S. The debate was in the Capitol building, and the senators debated what America's legislation should be. Now, Senator George Gore of Massachusetts will speak to Congress.
Congress, 100 years ago, the American people founded a nation upon the moral law. They declared that all men equally derive from their Creator in the pursuit of happiness. For 100 years, this principle has been held in honor. This has been the magnet that has drawn immigration hither, the human stream of immigrants. They don't go to Mexico, and they don't go to South America, but they come here to the United States, where they find this law of equality in operation. Thank you.
Now, Senator Thomas Baird of Delaware will speak to Congress.
Congress, I willingly recognize the brotherhood of man and respond to humanity wherever its voice may be heard. But there's an instinct of self-preservation in nations as well as individuals. A man must be true to himself before he can be true to others, and a nation must be true to its own people before it can be true to immigrants. There's no injustice, there's no inhumanity in saying that the duty of our country compels us to consider the kind people who live here. Thank you.
The Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, which was signed by Chester Alan Arthur, stated that no Chinese immigrant could immigrate to the U.S. for a period of 10 years, and the Chinese already in America were denied full citizenship. The racism of some Americans did not allow the Chinese into certain stores.
Get out of here. No, get out. Go steal from your own Chinese stores. Oh, customer, can I help you?
Yes, I was wondering if you have this month's copy copy of the Harvard magazine?
It's right over here. Here you go.
Oh, have you read this?
No, what does it say?
It says the Chinese Exclusion Act has been extended 10 more years.
That's great. Now there still being new Chinese immigrants trying to steal from my store. It's 5 cents.
Here you go.
Thanks. In 1902, the Chinese Exclusion Act was made permanent by President Theodore Roosevelt. Along the way, though, it was changed to say that if you have a father in America, then you could also immigrate to the United States in order to keep the family together. In 1910, Angel Island opened to screen immigrants who wanted to enter California. But some of the Chinese were held there for many years, waiting to be interrogated. On the walls of Angel Island Detention Center are poems of hope, distress, and longing from the Chinese immigrants.
The Western-style buildings are lofty, but I had not left to live in them. How was anyone to know that my dwelling place would be a prison? I had come to America with high hopes for my life. I wanted to earn enough money so that I might bless my family. Now I am locked up like a prisoner with no way of moving forward or moving back. Leaving behind my writing brush and removing my son, I came to America. How was anyone to know that 15 years would go upon my arrival here?
Lady Guy, you have been called in for your interrogation. You have claimed that you have a father in the United States. Since the Chinese Exclusion Act is now permanent, and because of the fire that burned all of the immigration records, we are entitled to interrogate you to test the accuracy of your claim. Your father will be asked the same questions. If your answers do not match up exactly, then you will be sent back to China. What is your name?
Li Du Gai.
Has your house in China 2 outside doors?
Yes.
Who lives in the first house, first row from the head?
Ye Ka. I don't know what clan he belongs to.
Why don't you know what clan he belongs to?
Well, I never heard his family name.
Do you expect us to believe that you lived in that village if you don't know the clan names of the people living there?
Well, he never told us his family name.
According to your testimony today, there are 3 houses. Yesterday, you said there were 5.
There are 5 houses.
There are 2 other families. Who are they and where do they live?
Leon Don, 5th row, 3rd house.
What family has he?
He has a wife and a son. His wife is Jin Shi.
What is the name of their son and where does he live?
Leon Gai, 1st house, 2nd row.
You have already put Leon Du Sin in that house.
His house is 4th row, 1st house.
You have already put Leon Ye Gai in that house.
His house is 2nd house, 3rd row.
What is the name of your father?
Li Chi Yan.
Very well.
I hope I can get to America. America compared to China is like heaven on earth. I hope it's what everyone says it is.
The questions were designed to confuse and mix up the immigrants because some of them tried to fake their identities because they're so desperate to get into America.
Ever since the Chinese started immigrating during the gold rush, America has imposed taxes and laws to inhibit the Chinese from success. Racism increased more and more as Chinese emigrated and created competition on the job market.
Up to this point, America had taken the immigrants openly and easily. The Exclusion Act was the first time in history that one people were excluded from America. The Chinese resented the idea that they were being discriminated against, but for the most part they remained quiet. This change brought more changes, but ultimately banned all Asian immigrants.
Today, the Chinese Exclusion Act no longer exists. It was taken away in 1943 to strengthen our relationship with China, who's our ally against Japan during World War II. This was a success for the Chinese, but it wasn't taken away for the right reasons, more just for a benefit for us. The Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 was the result of many years of Chinese discrimination and initiated decades of Chinese exclusion. On the wall of Angel Island Detention Center